Kensington, Philadelphia. Hotbed for poverty, crime, and drugs. One of Philly's most dangerous and notorious communities. With so much holding the young men of this neighborhood down, it's often hard to escape the urban jungle around them. But one man, in his vision of Friday Night Lights under the L, has given the kids of Kensington a new chance to succeed, to rise above their doubters. This is Rise of the Tigers. This is Kensington Creative and Performing Arts, part of the Kensington Multiplex of high schools. But as recently as 10 years ago, these 4 schools were jumbled into one unmanageable institution.
About 10 years ago, Kensington was one high school, and it was just years ago it was an all-girls school. And then as society began to change, things began to change, and it became co-ed. And then the school went through a really challenging time with drugs and truancy and just high suspensions, just a great deal of problems that plagued the school.
And that's where I spent my whole first year as in Kensington High School before it broke up into the Multiplex. So I was there when it was, pretty hostile environment. It was. I don't want to go as far as saying it was out of control, but it was pretty darn close. There was fights every day, almost every other period in the hallways. We used to see weed fly through the air sometimes, and that was just, it's just a wild thing. But this one first year teaching, I had these kids ran into the classroom and started beating up on a kid right in the middle of my class. I didn't have a lock on my door my first year teaching. I had a bungee cord hooked up to the hole to the phone to keep the door shut because kids are just roaming the hallways, walking in their rooms.
Kensington was a big, almost wasteland type high school. Half of the faculty was afraid of the students and the other half didn't care. Might have been relevant to the fear of the students. The diploma, if you will, didn't mean much. Okay, I kind of felt like, not to sound grandiose, I kind of felt like a lone voice in the wilderness in terms of trying to bring about change. Change was very slow coming, so I welcomed the breakdown into smaller schools.
School district and community leaders met to discuss ways this dire situation could be improved. Together, this collective devised a new concept of education in Kensington.
The concept was, let's break this school up into smaller schools, and let's make these smaller schools theme-based so that the neighborhood students can have an opportunity to go to one of these theme-based schools and choose what they want to do. The fact that a kid from the neighborhood can say, okay, do I want to go to Health Sciences Academy? Do I want to study dentistry? Do I want to go to business and really look at entrepreneurship? Do I want to go to urban ed and be a teacher? Do I want to go to Kappa and look at the creative arts and focus on that? So I think just the fact that we're giving kids a choice to do something is empowering.
This strategy allowed for faculty to establish a more personal connection with their students, giving them a feeling of empowerment.
Here, where it's more like the kids need family, so we become literally family to the kids. And that's a big shift from what we think normal high school is like. So that means building that culture that we are family, we're together. We might be a dysfunctional family, but nonetheless, we are a family.
The people here, they're really nice, and everybody at Kensington's more like a family rather than everybody giving each other dirty looks and talking smack. So I don't mind coming to school. It's actually something I like to do. And that's why going to Kensington, it makes me look forward to college and stuff like that.
Everyone knows every kid's name. Okay, there's no, hey you. So if a kid is doing anything wrong, you would say, Johnny. We don't do that here. Okay, and Johnny will say, Mr. Green or Mr. Smith or whatever, okay, or whatever, as opposed to, yo, buddy, get out my face or something like that. Major difference with the small school.
We have to develop relationships with these kids, that unless we have an earnest relationship with them, we can't move them. And really understanding that, because you can debate with these kids if you choose to. That's a no-win proposition. Or you can embrace them and challenge them from a relationship point of view And quite frankly, that's what I believe, and that's what I challenge my staff to do as they interact with our students as well.
As the culture of Kensington High School started to change, one piece of the overall puzzle had yet to be placed. The pulse of a high school is its football team, yet Kensington remained without a heartbeat.
There was a culture of apathy in this building. And not this building, I'm just meaning the school. I mean, again, coming in from an elementary school and then coming in first year and just speaking to people, and the message was clear. Like, these kids can't. These kids don't care. These kids, and that was just very challenging for me because I was these kids. So, for me, it was very personal because I felt like you were just saying that about me. And so I had to go around people, because if I had listened to people who said they'll never give us a football team because there's no money, or they're not going to do it because the kids are not going to want to play, it'll fizzle out. So if I had listened to certain people that had power, and they had power, we would never have it. Edison has a football team, Mansbaum has a football team, and Kensington is still a comprehensive high school. Although we're broken up into 4, we're still a comprehensive high school. And really speaking to these folks about why we need a team. And I'm amazed to this day how we got it, because in the midst of budget crisis and everything that was going on, I mean, we were able to get the funding to have a JV team. And of course, when they said how about a JV team would be fabulous, not a problem.
After the hard work and determination of Principal Carrera, Mr. Erb, and Mr. Robert Coleman, head athletic director of the School District of Philadelphia, much of the faculty felt that high school football would be a welcome addition to the multiplex and to the community.
Everybody needs to achieve something and feel good about something. That's where your confidence comes from, for which you use to make decisions and live a good, productive life. If you lack confidence or faith in yourself, you're not going to be very successful. And sports does such a wonderful job of helping develop that.
Football, it's one of those definers. I mean, look at our nation. We worship at the altar every Sunday at 1 o'clock, and that's who we are as a culture, and we need that if we're going to be a part of mainstream society. And so many, without being so dramatic when I say that, but if we're able to do that, it's just a natural overflow that our kids grow and that they develop and they become part of the mainstream as a result of these different avenues, i.e. football.
Plenty of statistics and studies out there that indicate the more involved students are in positive activity, the greater resilience they have, the greater capacity they have to problem solve in a positive manner, the more directed they become. And football is a great example of that.
On a game day, when a kid brings his uniform to school, and he's got his helmet and his shoulder pads, and he's walking around campus, you can just feel his pride. I mean, he's talking about the game later that day, what he's going to do, and it's just, and it's the kind of sense of accomplishment. Doesn't matter whether we win or lose the game, as far as I'm concerned. It's just the idea that I'm committed to doing what I can on the field and enjoying that experience as a young person, saying that with that kind of confidence. You can't put a price tag on that.
Despite the importance of a program that is a defining aspect of the high school experience, budget cuts have crippled the school district, making extracurricular activities, namely sports, an ever-decreasing priority.
In the district, we're fraught with all kind of financial challenges that, when you look at a budget, many of the things that are the first to go are the arts, the humanities, and the sports. Those are the first things that we cut out, and we certainly don't expand to include those things. And that's to our loss that we approach our finances that way. I mean, we are definitely in an incredibly financially challenging time, and make no mistake about it. And so we can't grow, we can't expand, and we can't do what our kids need. But so when it comes to football specifically, quite frankly, it's an expensive endeavor. I mean, everyone needs resources, and every program in the School District of Philadelphia, not just sports, but academically speaking. I mean, those challenges are real. And I mean, 2 years ago, I had 9 English teachers in my school. Without a significant change in my population, last year I was down to 5. And this year I started the school year off with 4. I mean, so those budget cuts are very real. And everyone wants resources. I know I do. But yet I understand I have to work within the parameters of what's available to me. And demonstrate that we can move forward and want to move forward. And I would say the same thing to the football guys and the football team.
But as Kensington High School is trying its best with their limited resources, there are some on the public school's payroll who aren't pulling their own weight.
The Germantown game, we were lucky to even have the Germantown game because 2 of the referees didn't even show up. So only 1 referee showed up to the game, and he was going to have a controlled scrimmage. So thankfully, one of the gentlemen at Germantown High School was a PIA official, volunteered his time, put a jersey on, and ref for us. You know, and there was only 2 referees there. You know, it's very disheartening. You know that people are getting paid to do a job for the kids, and they don't show up.
The game was played as scheduled, and Kensington looked sharp early on. Number 2, Jolie Milton, picked up a squib kick and returned the football all the way for a long Kensington score, torching the opposing team's kick coverage unit. On the ensuing 2-point conversion attempt, number 15, Dejan Reason, recovered a fumbled pitch and evaded a wall of defenders on his way into the end zone. But the same old issues that have plagued the Tigers all season long persisted, and the Tigers fell to Germantown.
The defense let the game down, definitely. But, I don't know, it was a big loss. I didn't think we were going to lose that game. I don't think we were physical enough. I thought we were trying to play the screens too much, and we expected them to pass. Because usually in the second half, teams like to get pass happy, but they ran all over us. We couldn't stop it. And I take a big responsibility of that because I'm the middle of the defense, and I'm supposed to get people in the right positions to do their job.
Even with all of the budget cuts and tough losses, the administration feels that if spearheaded by the right individual, the miracle of Kensington football can live on.
I understand our district is in a very serious budget crisis right now. So I really don't expect too much from my district as far as any kind of monetary input. And that's why I created the 501c3 and the Friends of Kensington Football Inc. to hit the corporations that are making a lot of money and that can be donating. And what I want from my district or our district is just to understand that we are working extremely hard. We're understaffed, and we are giving it our all for the kids every single day.
Having a football team in Kensington is the closest thing that you're going to see to true transformation and education on a outside of the classroom level. You're not going to see anything else like that. I mean, for that to have happened, it's just, I almost want to use the term a miracle, which I won't use that term, but close to it in terms of being able to create a football team at this time. And you know, of course, what the coach is striving to do with that. I mean, he's committed to making that the difference maker for the young men that he's involved with.
Because this was Erb's vision. He wanted this football team, and he told me about it when I got there. Like, he saw it already. He had even, I think, pictures of the helmet drawn and things like that. Like, it was already, he just needed me to, make that happen, and then he would definitely take it from there. And that's so important, because what you have to have that person that's gonna take it, and it's almost like the baby, raise it and care for it and clothe it and feed it.
The coach has my support, because he's definitely a man on a mission. But quite frankly, that's what I need for every different activity and program within our schools. I need point people to make it happen. And I think he understands that. The way that he goes about it, because the best way to go about that is not so much depend upon the school itself or the school district. Man, we need our community involved with this work. This is bigger than just a school. And especially the grassroots effort that it has become, because he will beat his head against the wall if he's going to wait for the schools to be that difference maker as far as resources are concerned. And it's just not a healthy approach to trying to do something so special and unique.
Damn right, pouring, feeling like it was storming. Cold nights, long days, none of these hoes was calling. Got a little bit of buzz and we're no longer falling.